What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Balmor Battlemage Captain in Historic Brawl. This is a 2-mana Is-It Commander, 1/3 Bird Wizard that's flying, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. So sort of like pseudo prowess. It gives your creatures like a form of prowess. Instead of +1/+1, they get +1/+0, and they also get trample. So this is probably the lowest mana curve deck I've ever made in my life. Look at that! Look at that puppy. So most of the deck is 1 or 0 mana. I mean, look at this list. That's like 80% of the deck is 1 mana. And then we have this column of 2 mana spells and this column of quote-unquote 3 mana spells, but really they are 1 mana spells because they have a special ability like Spectacle, or, you know, our commander's a wizard, so this costs 2 less to cast, so it ends up being 1 mana. The only spell that is 3 mana is Barge In, God of Storytelling, and you know, it's just such a good effect in this deck where whenever we cast a spell we add red mana. So you can imagine if we have this on the field and we're casting all these spells, we can just endlessly cast these spells as long as we can draw more cards. But a lot of them cantrip. A lot of them have draw a card in the clause. So they'll do some kind of effect. They'll pump all our creatures and then we can replace it, right, with draw a card. Or scry effects. Things like that. So essentially, I mean, the strategy for the deck is super straightforward. We want to play a bunch of creatures. We have a bunch of evasive creatures like Slither Blade, where it can't be blocked, or Delver of Secrets, that turns into a 3/2 flyer, Faerie Seer, that we get the benefit of scrying 2, but it's also a 1/1 flyer. So a lot of these are evasive creatures. That's like one category of the creatures. The other ones would be like token creators, like Third Path Iconoclast, or Young Pyromancer, modern and legacy staple. And then there's another class that we'll just call it the third class, that sort of pump themselves, like Kiln Fiend. So we get the plus, you know, +1/+0 pump from Balmor, but then these also pump themselves and get trample. So these can get huge with just a couple spells. That's why the mana curve is so low. The idea is to have a bunch of... We want to barf out our hand by turn 2 or 3. Have, you know, 3 or 4 creatures. Hopefully all of them are evasive in some fashion. And then we can play, you know, 3 or 4 spells and pump them all and, you know, basically tempo out the opponent. So this is very different than the kind of deck that I normally play, but let's see if I can pilot it correctly. I spent a lot of time trying to get this deck to have a low mana curve. It was really tempting to add a lot of other fun effects, but a lot of them were just too expensive and they would slow down the deck. The main thing that, you know, the main advantage of this deck is its speed and its low mana curve, so I leaned into that as hard as I possibly could. Like I said, I think it's the lowest mana curve deck I've ever built in my life. I mean, there's only one spell above 3 mana, technically. Okay, well, you know, this will be... Okay, so Golos obviously top tier, if not the hardest commander to play against in Historic Brawl. However, they usually take the first 3 or 4 turns fixing their mana. So we actually have a window here, and we get to go first, where we might be able to kill them before they can even play Golos. We have both of our colors, so that's great. We have a creature that can't be blocked, which we can play on turn 1, and then we have, you know, a bunch of spells, so let's keep. This is kind of the dream hand. Our opponent's thinking about whether or not to mulligan. So we're going to go turn 1 Shivan Reef and Mist-Cloaked Herald. Turn 2 Balmor. Turn 3, hopefully we draw a land somewhere in there and we can just fire off all these spells. And they'll be hurting pretty bad. I don't know if they'll be dead, but they'll be down. This one pumps quite a bit too. This one cantrips, so that's good. We'll see if the opponent walked away from their desk or not. Hopefully not, because I think we got a really good first hand. Well, I guess I'll just keep talking about the deck. So this is the kind of hand we're looking for. I mean, I kind of already explained it, but, you know, really low mana curve. Ideally, this would come later in the game because it's 2 mana. We'd really much rather have a whole handful of 1 mana spells, so that by turn 3 we can fire off like the whole rest of our hand. Hopefully find more cantrips, keep the party going. The mana base is mostly red or dual. Okay, cool, the opponent's here. And the reason for that is because most of the cards in the deck are red. There are maybe 15% blue cards in the deck, and that's just because the deck is so reliant on being fast that it's hard to mana fix if you have like a 50-50 split between blue and red cards. So I went with mostly red cards because most of the red cards do most of the damage and, you know, giving your creatures haste and pumping them and stuff like that. I kept the really good blue ones like Opt and Brainstorm and things like that, but I cut most of the ones that were kind of iffy. I don't know what the opponent is doing. Well, if you ever want to beat Golos, all you gotta do is play a Mist-Cloaked Herald, and apparently they get so scared they run away with their tail between their legs. Well, unfortunately we didn't get to test out that hand, but that's what we're looking for. We really want to be on the play, have a really low mana curve hand, preferably all 1-drops, and just kind of storm off. Prosper, another... I guess this is a tier 1 commander, because most of my cards are commons and uncommons, so... yeah, okay. We get to go first, and we have both our colors. This is a 1/4, I believe. Yeah. So Prosper, I'm sure you've heard of Prosper. It's essentially the best Rakdos commander. It's card draw and ramp in 1 card. It's super broken. This card keeps ending up in our hand, but we have a haste creature too. We'll keep. It's hard to turn this down because we have both our colors. My main fear with this deck is like getting 2 mountains or 2 islands and not being able to cast my commander. This unfortunately is a tapped land, but I don't own all of the dual, like the untapped dual lands for every color combination, and I tend to play Izzet like the least of any guild, so I'm still trying to get all of the better untapped dual lands, but I had to use these ones for now. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my opponents. This is 2 opponents in a row where they've wrote me out on turn 0. So, how we play this. Turn 1, Epiphany, Scry. Turn 2, Balmor. Turn 3, hopefully we draw a land. We can Ginger Brute and Cantrip. And then go from there, I guess. This hand is not as good as the last hand we had. Okay, well, what are you gonna do? Yep, scry 1. Nope, too high of a mana cost. I mean, if they want to skip their turn, I'm fine with that. Well, I did want to say that this was a viewer requested deck by Hawk, so appreciate Hawk, you know, asking to, you know, if we can play this commander, and of course I said, yeah, no problem. If you guys have any commanders you want to see in play, just leave them in the comments, and I'll give them a whirl. Okay, so that's 2. I mean, to me, that's 2 victories in a row. So we're 2-0 with the deck. Easy wins with Balmor. I honestly think that it's sort of weird they put me against Golos and then Prosper. Those are 2 of the like top tier commanders. It's very strange. Quintorius, okay. I don't think, I mean, Quintorius is good, but I don't think it's top tier. Okay, we have all our, we have 3 lands, which is fine, and all red sources, but we do have blue sources, and they're untapped, and we go first, so I think we keep. What do we do turn 1, though? Oh, Goldhound, that's what we do. So, command tower, Goldhound. Looks like opponent's alive, so that's good. We have a living, breathing person. Okay. Wonder if this is Boros control. That's going to be a really hard matchup if it is. Whenever you cast your second spell. Okay, that's pretty good. So what do we do here? We have too many large spells, so I think we play you and scry. Done. It's a cantrip, so we'll take it. Let's get our creatures down. And then we can start popping off. If they have like a Brotherhood's End or something, of course, we're pretty much out of the game. We're gonna start killing our creatures. Okay. Cantrip. Sure. Sort of bigger cantrip. We don't need the land. And I guess we don't need the Mox Amber either, huh? We really need spells. No, let's save this. Should we save it? Nah. Okay, still a long way to go, but they're down to 15. Quintorius allows... Oh, this is the other Quintorius. I thought this was the Planeswalker Quintorius, but this is the creature Quintorius. Okay. I'll have to... That's too much text for me to read right now. Let's Faithless Looting. Let's get rid of you. And get rid of you. If we draw a... yeah. Okay, we're down to 6. They're gonna attack, so they probably have a board wipe. Makes sense. That's a great card to have. We're down to 5. Hopefully they don't have another board wipe. So what does this do? At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature on land. Creature from your graveyard, create a 3/2. That's what you might cast that card without paying its mana cost. Okay. Alright, that's a bummer, but is what it is. I think that's their whole turn. Unless they draw. Okay. 2 damage to any target. Let's Expressive Iteration. We might find another damage spell, which would be like a lightning bolt or something, which would be sick. Nope. Put one of them in your hand. I guess hand, library, exile. We'll make it unblockable. Okay. It's instant speed, it's a sorcery. Okay, we'll end turn. Next turn we can Shire's Terrace, play Balmor, and Ranger's Firebrand, and we'd have lethal. So as long as they don't remove Ginger Brute, we're good. I think we have enough mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I don't think we do, because we have to pay 1 to make Ginger Brute unblockable, unless they attack here. Which it looks like they're not gonna attack. Aha, we drew a land. Is that good enough? Okay, so I think this turn we just go for this. Looks like they have another removal spell. No, they're gonna draw, try to get a removal spell. Come on. Just let me tap you. Oh, they gained life. You motherfucker. And now Balmor costs 8, so I think that's it. I think that's GG. We'll see what we draw, but I think that's GG. God. Yep, they're gonna start attacking. We had lethal too if they didn't have a spell like that. Uh-huh. Yep. Like a creature. Ooh. Is it? We have it, right? 3. Oh no, that's. I'm sorry. This is not. This is Light of the Stage. Not. That's still a good card, but it's not. I thought this was the 3 damage one, so that would have been 6, right? Okay, so Fire Terrace. Unblockable. Next. Found it. Okay, this now costs 1. Spectacle, yeah. Oh. Is it until my next turn? It is. Okay. End turn. Oh, I should have done that. No, wait. No, yeah, I could have. I had plenty of mana. I could have just done this ahead with the full cost. Oh, I missed lethal. I missed lethal. Shit. I told you, this is not my normal style of deck. So, pardon the misplays. They're probably going to happen a lot. But the important thing is that you guys got to see that it is possible to win with this deck. I just didn't win. That's a lot of damage. I think they're still alive. Hopefully they don't have removal for Ginger Brute. That would be brutal. They're touching their cards and it's making me nervous. Okay. They have 3 mana and 1 card left. If you have a removal spell, you should just remove it now. Maybe they're worried I have a counter. Hopefully they don't have another instant speed way to gain life. Yeah, so you're gonna make a creature? Huh? Okay, so we either win this turn or we die. Okay. Wait, does anything have haste here? I don't think so, right? No. Next. Next. They have instant speed something, but it's probably these guys. Uh-huh. Yeah. They're thinking, okay, well this doesn't kill us. Am I missing something? Can they do something at instant speed? Oh my goodness. But is it an instant? It is an instant. But they have no mana. Does it matter? Yeah. If you can play it, you should just play it, right? Yeah. So 3 damage, Yeah, I mean, that's it. We'll show them that we had Ranger's Firebrand just so they know they got lucky. Did I miss lethal? I missed lethal. That's my fault. But the deck did not miss lethal. I missed lethal. If you've ever missed lethal, go ahead and subscribe. I swear I miss lethal like once every video. Koth. Well, this is going to be a tough one because it's mono red, which means they're going to have lots of little removal spells. We have both our colors, and we have a Delver, which is great. We get to go first. I mean, this is a good hand. We'll try it. So what do we want a Delver first. We'll see if they have a bunch of removal. To be expected. And if they remove this, it's pretty much GG, because we have no other lands. Okay. So you're telling me there's a chance. Anything with haste? No. So let's, just in case we draw a land, let's brainstorm. We don't draw a land. We do draw this though. Let's put these two back on top. It doesn't really matter. They kind of do the same thing. This also draws us a card. Target attacking creature, I see. So we can't... Next. We can't cast it until it's attacking. Game, hello? I clicked next. But you're counting this as a timeout for me. Hello? Arena. Come on. It wouldn't be a video of mine unless I got totally fucked by the timeout system of Magic the Gathering Arena. Did we disconnect? Like, what is happening? Well, this is just the strangest video I've ever recorded. That is now 3 really strange games where it almost felt like the first 2 felt like the opponents were like disconnected, and now it feels like I'm disconnected. Like, what is this? Alright, well, let's just get out. Hell, I can't even concede. So I'm just gonna assume we're disconnected. Let's do... where are we at? Nope. Yeah. Uh-huh. This is the user that submitted for the deck. Thanks again for the suggestion. Sure. I would love to reconnect. But you probably kicked me out of my combat phase, so if you did, I'm just going to concede because that's too much tempo loss. Okay, cool. Arena always helping with the production quality. Oof, this is a tough... What is with these commanders? Like, I was always told that depending on your commander and how many, like, rares and mythics you had in your deck, that's how Arena chose who to pair you against. But, like, literally 99% of our deck is commons and uncommons. I mean, yeah, we have Lightning Bolt, big whoop. But, like, I don't get it. I don't understand how we're against... Beelzebub's Primari is a top tier Izzet commander. We have all our colors. I mean, let's try it. They get to go first, which is a bummer. This is for toughness as well, so it gets around Lightning Bolt. Their game plan is to play a bunch of artifacts, and they turn all their artifacts into mana rocks. Right now they don't have red mana though, so they're scrying in their upkeep to try to get it. They obviously don't have it in their hand. They bottom. Ah. Okay, they didn't have red mana. Hawk, I'm sorry, man. This is the strangest video I've ever recorded, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying. I wish I could have pulled out lethal for that one game, but what are you gonna do? We'll do one more game. This has been a strange journey tonight. Attracts. Oh my god. At least they're gonna be spending their first couple turns mana fixing. Sprite Dragon's a great card, even though it's 2 mana. Yeah, man, this card is like in every opening hand. They get to go first. Man, if we got to go first, it'd be so much better, but we'll try it. So this is probably a Planeswalker deck. This is the older Atraxa, still incredibly powerful. Probably the most played commander in actual Commander. I think that's on EDH Rec. This is like the most popular commander. What do we do? Let's do we have a turn 1 creature? I don't think so. So let's turn 1. We'll put a blue source down just to scare them. We don't obviously run counter spells, but we will end step Brainstorm. They're welcome to counter it if they want. Yeah, sure. That's fine. All I was gonna do is try to move some of these bigger mana spells further back, but that allows us to get down our Sprite Dragon. That's an awesome draw. Balmor. We go for max damage, or do we cantrip? I think we go for max damage. Okay, they play black market. Perfect. Okay, so we gotta be really diligent here, because we could do a lot of damage this turn. So let's cantrip. Can't block this turn. Yeah, we don't care about that. Yeah, we're not gonna block. Cantrip. So this would give +4. So we smack in for 13, almost lethal. Or we could try to cantrip a couple more times. Is that better? I think this is better. They're going to be either dead or at a super low life total. It's doing that thing again. Okay. Okay, Arena, we're not going to let you mess with us this time. They don't want us to win with this deck, man. They are angry. Did they pass through our turn? You... Arena's gotta be one of the shittiest programs. Just like, who wrote this garbage? Oh my god. Now it looks like the opponent's disconnected too, so it like didn't just affect us. Alright, well, I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, Arena's just a garbage program. I'm like secretly hoping they just let this guy go through his turn so that I can get my combat back, because they took away all the damage I had built up. Dude, this program is an absolute joke. What an absolute joke. Okay, my turn. Perfect. Let's pop off a little bit. Get rid of the land. Let's get rid of you. Doesn't help us right now. Discard a card. We'll do you, because I think we can get lethal here. Watch them have a settle the wreckage. That would be such a brutal. I'll attack. 2 attackers. I can do this. Okay, we have lethal. Yay, we did it. Yay. Oh my god. If that didn't earn a sub, I don't know what will. But that is the last game I'm playing tonight. Let's open a pack. I need to wash down this horrendous evening. Cavernous Soul. Ooh, nice. That was a good pack. Nice, nice. What does this do? Legendary creature. Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tab. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a +1/+1. Oh, interesting. So it's like explores matters. That's interesting. Maybe I'll build a deck around that. There's a lot of explore mechanics in the new set, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Okay, we'll do a deck review and get out of this mofo. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think you guys got an idea of how the deck is supposed to work. You know, I think there's other ways that you could build this deck where maybe it's not a aggro deck, right? An aggro tempo deck like this one is. But I think if you're gonna build this deck in the truest sense of what this commander, you know, does best, I guess is the way I'll put it. This is the way I would build it. Extremely low mana curve. You know, you're oftentimes looking at enough damage to have lethal on turn 3 or turn 4 consistently, and that's usually fast enough to get underneath most decks. Of course you're gonna lose if someone has a board wipe, or if someone has, you know, you're playing a control deck with lots of removal. It just is what it is. You're just gonna have to be okay with that. you're playing it's just like if you play mono red in standard, right? That's how you have to think of this deck. It's like, is it mono red, right? Same kind of thing. You're gonna get a lot of wins just because a lot of people aren't prepared for this kind of aggro deck, but you're also gonna get a lot of like really quick losses because there's gonna be people who are just absolutely prepared to destroy all your little creatures, and once your commander has been taken out once or twice, it's really hard to get back in the game. The whole deck revolves around this guy, so if it gets killed once, it's kind of okay because it costs 4 mana, but once it starts costing 6, 8, 10 mana, I mean, there's just no way to get back in the game. So as long as you're okay with that, I think this is the form that I would build the deck in. We didn't get to see Burgy, but you could see how if we did have Burgy, every time we play one of our, you know, red spells, especially our red cantrips, it would just add another red mana. We could almost infinitely pump our squad. And then you could see about, you know, like if we had Third Path Iconoclast or Young Pyromancer, and every time we cast one of these spells, we made a 1/1, and then that 1/1 got pumped, right? And had trample. So yeah, not a lot to dissect here. The technical difficulties really kind of interrupted the flow of the game. I do feel bad about missing lethal on that one match, so we would have had 2 good wins, but nonetheless, I think I demonstrated how this is what I would consider the best version of the deck if you really want to go for that aggro win con. So, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Thanks again to Hawk for suggesting the commander. If you guys have any other commanders that you'd like me to play, just put them in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.